Hey everyone, let's talk about what is arguably the holy grail of the EV world, solid-state batteries. If you follow this space, you already know engineers, scientists, and automakers are pouring billions into cracking this puzzle. In this explainer, we're going to bypass the hype and look at the real science, the brutal manufacturing reality, and most importantly, a massive breakthrough published in the journal Nature in July 2026 that has literally turned this entire industry upside down.
Here's the game plan today. We'll cover the bottleneck with today's liquid batteries, the promise of going solid, the three main paths engineers are taking, a manufacturing reality check, that incredible 2026 scientific breakthrough, and finally, what the road ahead actually looks like.
All right, part one, the liquid battery bottleneck and why today's tech hit a wall.
So you already know modern lithium-ion batteries rely on a liquid electrolyte for ions to swim through. It works, sure, but it's fundamentally a flammable, carbon-based solvent. And honestly, it's the root cause of pretty much every limitation we're dealing with today, from energy density caps to charging speeds to safety. The whole industry is chasing one beautifully simple idea. What if we just take that liquid out completely and swap it for a solid?
But to get why that is so insanely difficult, we've got to talk about the bad guy of our story, the dendrite. Imagine a microscopic, jagged, unpredictable weed growing inside the battery. Every time you charge up, especially if you're trying to use high-power, pure lithium metal, these branching tendrils grow. In a liquid, they can stretch all the way across, pierce the middle, and touch the other side. And when that happens, bam, direct short circuit and potentially a really intense fire. These dendrites are the exact reason engineers have had to compromise for decades, settling for weaker graphite instead of pure lithium. So we're stuck with four fundamental limitations of liquid electrolytes that no amount of clever engineering can truly bypass. First, thermal runaway. These things can start catching fire at just 90 degrees Celsius. That's not even boiling water. Second is that unpredictable dendrite growth we just talked about. Third, the energy density is basically maxed out between 150 and 240 watt-hours per kilogram, which is why EV battery packs are just so unbelievably heavy. And fourth, charging speeds are hard-capped because pushing too much power generates way too much heat. Moving on to part two, the solid-state promise and the next generation of energy storage. When you rip that liquid out entirely, you unlock an architecture that is vastly more powerful and fundamentally safer. Just look at this temperature data. While your standard battery gets dangerous around 90 degrees Celsius, solid-state systems usually don't even flinch until they hit around 247 degrees Celsius. That's nearly 2.5 times hotter. Plus, even if an event does happen, the heat releases way slower, meaning no rapid, violent fire propagation. And that insane safety leap brings us to what scientists call the golden combination. The logic has always been that a rigid, solid electrolyte layer could act like a physical wall to stop those jagged dendrites from growing. Stop the dendrites, and you can finally, safely, ditch the graphite and use a pure lithium metal anode. Why is that such a big deal? Because pure lithium metal can hold roughly 10 times more lithium ions in the exact same space compared to a graphite structure. That tenfold jump in ion storage translates into some absolutely mind-bending real-world numbers. Toyota, for instance, is targeting a staggering 1,000 kilometers of driving range on a single charge for their first-generation solid-state batteries. That's over 600 miles. Oh, and charging it from 10 to 80%, they're aiming for about 10 minutes. It is literally the death of range anxiety, and it's exactly why the automotive industry is utterly obsessed with getting this right. Which brings us to part three, three paths to solid and finding the perfect material.
Look, if this were easy, we'd all be driving 600-mile EVs right now. The engineering complexity here is brutal, and the industry is basically split into three major material bets. First, you've got sulfides. Toyota and CATL are going heavy on this. They have the absolute best ionic conductivity, but they are super sensitive to moisture and can release toxic gas, so you need these crazy expensive ultra-dry factories. Second, oxides. This is the ceramic route pursued by companies like QuantumScape. Awesome stability and safety, but getting a stiff ceramic to make perfect electrical contact is a total nightmare. And third, polymers. They're the easiest to manufacture using the tech we already have, but they generally need really high operating temperatures to work efficiently. Totally impractical for a passenger car sitting outside in the dead of winter. So yeah, no one has found the undisputed perfect formula just yet.
Time for part four, the manufacturing reality check and why this is all taking so long.
Let's step out of the theoretical hype cycle and onto the factory floor for a second. Building one flawless little solid-state coin cell in a pristine lab is one thing. profitably and reliably printing millions of them for cars is an entirely different universe. See, a liquid electrolyte naturally sloshes into every microscopic nook and cranny in a battery, but a solid, it doesn't. So achieving and maintaining that microscopic interface contact while the battery naturally swells and shrinks is just a massive headache. To fix it, a lot of designs require applying extreme, perfectly uniform physical pressure across the entire cell. Throw in the ultra-dry factory requirements, massive costs, and super high defect rates right now, and you start to see the bottleneck.
If you want to see exactly how hard this is to scale, just look at Toyota's commercial timeline. Initially, they aimed to have these in production cars by 2020. Then they shifted it to 2023, then 2026. As of right now, in mid-2026, the official target sits at 2027 to 2028. This continuous shifting isn't a failure on their part. It's a really vivid visual of just how monumentally difficult it is to take a lab experiment and turn it into a globally scaled automotive product.
So, let's clear the air and state the objective truth of the market today. Right now, there is not a single production passenger vehicle you can go buy that runs on a fully, purely solid-state battery. Sure, we have some really impressive semi-solid bridge technologies on the road, like what Nio was doing over in China. But 100% pure solid-state cars, they are still in validation testing, not in consumer driveways.
But don't let those delays fool you. Part 5. The 2026 Scientific Breakthrough and Cracking the Dendrite Code.
We actually just witnessed a massive turning point, thanks to an interdisciplinary team at the Max Planck Institute over in Germany. They finally solved a paradox that has been driving scientists crazy for years. See, pure lithium metal is actually incredibly soft. It's almost like a gummy bear. But solid ceramic electrolytes are hard and stiff, kind of like glass. So how on earth were these soft, gummy lithium dendrites managing to physically shatter rigid ceramic barriers and cause short circuits? Logically, it made absolutely no sense.
Well, the Max Planck team finally proved exactly how this happens, and Dr. Yuwei Zhang came up with the perfect analogy for it. Think of a continuous water jet. Water is obviously soft and fluid, right? But if you apply it with continuous, ultra-concentrated force and pressure, it will slice straight through solid rock. That is exactly what the soft lithium was doing to the hard ceramic. By running their tests in a vacuum at cryogenic temperatures, researchers proved without a doubt that this failure happens via external mechanical stress, not from internal electron leakage like some folks had hypothesized. It happens in 3 steps. Step 1. Hydrostatic stress builds up directly in the tip of the growing soft dendrite. Step 2. That concentrated pressure pushes continuously against the ceramic. Step 3. The brittle fracture of the hard solid electrolyte occurs. It just snaps. And this is huge because engineers now definitively understand this mechanical failure. They can actively design tougher materials, engineer microscopic voids to redirect those cracks, or apply specialized coatings to stop the stress before it even starts.
So what does this all mean for the future? Part 6, the road ahead, and why this goes way beyond just cars. With the big dendrite mystery finally solved, the runway to commercialization is looking clearer than ever. And honestly, this tech reaches way past the auto industry. Think about air mobility. Drones and EVTOs, those electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, desperately need the extreme lightweight power and energy density this promises. Every gram matters up there. Then you've got grid-scale energy storage for renewables, which demands the ultimate safety and those incredible 6,000-plus cycle lifespans to make sure giant solar and wind storage facilities remain entirely fireproof. And finally, consumer electronics. Just imagine a smartphone that safely lasts for multiple days on a single charge. Because of these massive applications, industry projections estimate this market could hit a $10 billion valuation by 2036. And this is being driven by entirely new, highly specialized supply chains and emerging regulations. For example, China is already drafting its first ever national technical standards specifically for solid-state EV batteries, essentially setting the rules for how this technology is going to mature globally. When you take a step back, this is just a beautiful decades-long journey. It all started back in 1980 when John Goodenough, who later won a Nobel Prize at age 97, by the way, first envisioned the true potential of lithium batteries, but had to compromise for safety. Today, we're watching it transition from a theoretical lab curiosity into a rapidly maturing engineering discipline, complete with real pilot production lines running right now from giants like QuantumScape, Toyota, and CAT-TL. So here is the question I want to leave you with. We have the foundational science. We are figuring out how to scale the manufacturing. And we've just cracked the great dendrite code. Will solid-state batteries hit consumer driveways in time to trigger the ultimate EV revolution? Or will conventional lithium-ion tech, which is still improving every single day, evolve fast enough to keep the crown? Thanks for exploring this explainer with me, and definitely keep your eyes closely on this incredible race for energy dominance.